Now, having said that, there were also people that came to the Lord. They were trying to trick him. They were trying to cause him to stumble over his own words. They were trying to embarrass him in front of the people. Basically they were trying to ruin who he was, and they were trying to ruin his ministry. And the Lord Jesus dealt with people in a different manner. He looked at some and he said, you're like whited sepulchres that are clean on the outside and you're full of dead men's bones. My paraphrase of that would be, listen here, you think you're all that, you're a bunch, but really what you are, you're a bunch of pretty boys that's rotten in the middle. And the Lord dealt with these people that way. Another way he dealt with them is he said, I'll answer that when you answer this. And then he would ask them a question that would expose their hypocrisy in front of the people. His demeanor changed dramatically when he dealt with people who were coming to him with questions that were not of a sincere answer. Now, having said that, let me say this. Jesus was no respecter of persons, but he was a respecter of intentions. This guy, Rick Sparks, has a history of jumping from site to site to site, antagonizing Christians, and when they finally confound him, he just goes somewhere else and begins the cycle all over again. Therefore, his intention is not to gain answers. His intentions are to justify himself in his own mind and make himself feel better by causing those who disagree with him, those who've come to different conclusions, their faith has brought them to a different place. Let me throw all the verbiage in so no one tries to come back and challenge me. But his problem is he's offended and he's threatened. He feels threatened by those people that have come to different conclusions. Now, when he watches these videos, he sees people that are happy and have peace, and it irritates him, and he can't stand it, and he's just not going to deal with it. Now, I have dealt with him. At first, I tried to deal with him in a polite way and tried to carry on a rational debate with him and help him understand that we're not going to conclude whether or not there is a God. We're just going to have to conclude that people come to different opinions and that one's as valid as the other. But having not made any headway, I started using the Lord's template, and I started dealing with him more harshly. Now, I haven't dealt with him any more harshly than he's dealt with anybody else. Well, let me read you the letter that I got from him, the email I got from him. You are no gent. You are no gent. I don't know what led you to be deluded by religion, but if you think your sanctimonious attitude is just, then you are one of the stupidest people I've ever encountered. Is that what you think Jesus taught? You're an effing, he says the word, or types the word, you're an effing joke. Just another example of a pious rectum, I'll say, utilizing religion utilizing religion to attempt to demean or insult others. Get a clue, dip, and then he calls me something that you wouldn't want to step in. But here's the reality. I've not dealt with him any more aggressively than he's been dealing with Christians. And I want to answer some questions for him. You are no gent. Well, let me tell you this. I'm a gentleman to people that deserve to be treated gentlemanly. When you began to insult Christians and you began to use verbiage that you knew was offensive to other people, you no longer deserve being treated as if you were a gentleman, and therefore I had to use methods that were not gentlemanly. But let me assure you that I am the gentleman and you are not. I don't know what led you to be deluded by religion. Let me tell you, I was deluded by religion by a personal relationship with Jesus Christ that has not only met but exceeded all my needs, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. if you don't understand that, that's your prerogative. I don't have a problem with that. Quite frankly, I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me. But understand this, my conclusions are just as valid as yours. You want proof, you want evidence. Just the sheer amount of people on the video in a court of law would conclude that the fact that that the proposition that there is a God would be accepted in a court of law just by the sheer amount of witnesses that their testimonies would agree in a court of law. Yours, on the other hand, probably would not. But if you think your sanctimonious attitude is just, let me explain something to you. My attitude is not sanctimonious. My attitude is a posture that has met your posture. Yeah, I find it cowardly of you to expect to come onto a site, and because a person wears a title called Christian, you think you can treat them any which way you want to treat them and then not expect some repercussion. Dude, you're a coward. You're a chicken. You're a fake. You're not a man if you think you should be able to treat people any way you want, and then when you get a dose of your medicine back, you start crying and complaining about it. How dare you try to tell me what is and what is not a Christian? Because quite frankly, you don't believe in Christianity, and why should I entertain any of your opinions of what is or is not Christian? All right, you say that if I think so, then I'm one of the stupidest people you've ever met. Let me say this: I'm probably the guy that has pegged your number, brother. Buddy, I know who you are. You're bitter. You're sanctimonious. You're arrogant, and you're a narcissist. And your issue is not whether or not there is or isn't a God. Your issue is that somebody has the unmitigated audacity to disagree with you. Yeah, I am, and I've done it in a way where I've proven that I'm smarter than you. Thank you very much. All right. You're an effing joke. Well, then you should be laughing, not attacking me. Just another example of a pious tailhole. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you show me how to act in a debate, and then I'll follow your example, okay? Is this what you think Jesus taught? Actually, I don't think it. I know it. And once again, proving that you don't know the Bible like you claim to. If you had read this Bible, if you had studied this Bible as you purport to have, you would have seen this years ago. Get a clue, dipstick, only you didn't say dipstick. I would say you need to get the clue because I'm using the biblical example. And I'm utilizing my religion to demean or insult you. No, what I'm doing is I'm answering you from within the confines of my religion to show how you're demeaning and you're insulting us is not going to be the position that we're going to take. And if you think otherwise, one more time as an example that you're not a man because you can dish it out but you can't take it. Don't waste my time. Now, to my younger brothers and sisters in the Lord, this is exactly the biblical way to deal with people who have no interest in learning from the debate. Their interest is to make themselves feel better by demeaning you and trying to make you feel embarrassed or trying to make you feel belittled. The Lord didn't stand for it, and neither should you.